Talks, meanwhile, with Iran continuing in Vienna today in an effort to limit that country's ability to create a nuclear bomb. With the deadline just days away, headwinds to a deal still remain. Iran says it will resist any Western pressure to make what it considers to be excessive concessions in exchange for fewer economic sanctions. The deadline for any deal is Monday, November 24th. With more on this, I want to bring in concerned veterans for America CEO Pete Hegseth. Pete, good to see you.
Good morning.
What are your thoughts on this Iran talk?
Well, this is a year in the making, and is something that's been out of the headlines for a while with ISIS and other international crises. But it remains, I think, the single most critical foreign policy piece that this administration is going to address. And because they've had so many failures across the board, from Iraq and Syria and Libya and elsewhere, they want a good headline. And a deal, no matter what it looks like to them, gives them that good headline. The problem is, on the back end, you could have a now permanently nuclear-capable Iran, which we should have no misconceptions about the true nature of the regime. Ayatollah Khamenei recently tweeted about, getting rid of Israel, removing it from the map.
Wiping them off the map.
This is still their fundamental belief, and wielding a bomb gives them the geopolitical chip that they need to rebalance the entire Middle East. And we're going into these negotiations from a position of weakness, and you talk about negotiations quite a bit. And when you're going in that way, lunging at a deal, you're likely going to get a bad deal.
And here again, the president, the White House, doing these talks, conducting these negotiations alone. I mean,
yeah.
How involved is Congress in any of this?
Not at all.
Exactly. I mean, such an important deal, such an important negotiation, and yet no input from Congress.
Because they know where Congress is. They know where the American people are on the issue of Iran and the nature of the Iranian regime since the revolution. This is a radical Islamist regime that seeks the bomb and the leverage that comes with it. And at every stop, whether it was in Iraq in the battlefield against my brethren or in Iraq and Syria, they're seeking to undermine America, kill Americans, getting this nuclear capability, whether it's 4 weeks until they can get weaponize those nuclear materials, or 6 weeks, is details. And this regime is happy to lie, happy to deceive. The Quran allows it, and they're leveraging that.
What kind of sanctions pullback might we see to appease what Iran would like?
Well, you would see no dismantling of of their existing nuclear stockpiles might be part of what we give. Also, giving them a little bit less time, how far they're able to go in the production with certain centrifuges, the percentage of enrichment, so they can walk it back a certain percentage. But going from 15 to 30% or 25 to 50% enrichment doesn't take that much time. So there's small, minor concessions, maybe future construction of facilities as well. But really what comes out of an agreement like this, especially if it's a bad one, is a de facto acceptance of a nuclear Iran, which we haven't yet done. The Obama administration is trying to do, and they're going to try to force this through the very end, behind closed doors, in secret, so they can have the headline of a historic deal. Problem is, it will be a historically bad deal for us and our allies.
Unbelievable. Such important and dangerous conversations. Pete, thank you very much for your insights. Pete Hegseth there. Take a look at this.